Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm going to be going over a kind of a guide or a how-to for this front bumper from Rough Country for the 2019 to 2024 Ram 1500s. This is for the tubular front bumper, as you can see on the instruction sheet here. The pictures aren't super great, and same with the packaging. They kind of just mix all the hardware into the same bag here, so I just wanted to put some clips together as I go along with this install to help out anyone else that might be trying to find a video for this, since I couldn't seem to find one that was out there. I didn't go over the removal of the OEM front bumper because there's already some pretty good videos out there already. I also kind of skipped just the unboxing here. So far, all I've done is put on these fog light covers. This is a 10 millimeter nut. And then this screw here, let's see, is also mixed in with the bag of hardware you get. They should each have a lock washer and a washer on them. They do include this Allen key, since it is an Allen head bolt. So I kind of just prepped the front of my bumper with doing that. And then I don't have front parking sensors on mine, so they include a plastic plug to go in place of that. If you don't have the front parking sensors, they just snap into place. So far, this is pretty much step one. There's this support bracket that mounts right here. It says to just do it finger tight, keep everything pretty loose for now. So how I found that these go is you're going to want the post of this towards the center of the truck, if that makes sense. So this is kind of the view you got from the passenger side. And to mount these on there, you are going to need, this is the bolts that come in the big bag of hardware. You're going to be using this one. Then in a separate bag, there's this nut plate. And you'll be using one of these washers, one of these lock washers, put together like that. And then the way this goes on here is, let's see, try to adjust my light so it doesn't wash out what I'm showing you guys. So this is actually where the active air dam mounts to. That's what this hardware is from. So the way you're going to mount this support bracket on is it's going to go on the back side of that, and then that nut plate is actually going to go, probably can't see that, but it's going to go inside that part of the frame. So over on this side, you get to focus, that bracket for the driver's side, the bar that comes out is going to be on this side towards the middle of the truck. And I'm going to put that nut plate inside of here and then feed the two bolts from the back. So this video is kind of going to be chopped up into segments. I wasn't really planning to film a video on this. I was just trying to get this finished up here, but I figured I was gonna try to just help out anyone else that might be installing the same bumper and might look into doing some other videos on this channel, possibly doing some vehicle and car reviews if I get the time to. Might do some moto vlogs, but yeah, we'll see what goes from this video. But yeah, this is part one. So just for a reference for this step here, step two, this is how it looks with those on. And again, at this point of the installation, these should just be finger tight or hand tight. So yeah, that's how it looks. Hey, so real quick guys, going over this part of the install. Over here is the passenger side. This is going to be the bracket that goes onto here for the passenger side. It's going to go right up like that. What it's not really clear on, but what you have to do is you're going to loosen this, looks like a body mount bolt. Over here on the driver's side, I already had went and put that on. So you loosen that body mount bolt, and the slotted end of that part of the bracket goes there. And then for your hardware that comes with the kit, there is a spacer in another bag that goes for this front bolt here, and that goes into a threaded area on your frame. And this is the bolt that you'll be using for that goes into the threaded area of the frame here. You're going to be putting another lock washer and a washer on that. And another thing to mention, socket size. So for these particular bolts here, I am using a 13/16 socket. So that's where that bracket goes on here, and we'll keep going. Okay, we will now be moving on to this larger bracket here. We have this one on and this one on here. Again, this is the one that mounted kind of under where it looks like a body bolt runs through, and then that pre-threaded slot that's in the truck frame already. The instructions don't make this one very clear, at least not for me, since they cut off the image here. But this is actually going to be this bracket here, and it's going to sit with, I'm on the passenger side right now, it's going to sit and line up with the top hole there and with your side holes going across. It's going to sit about like this. I have the one on the driver's side complete. This one is going to use the longest bolts that were in the kit, and you're going to pass them from like the tire side of the truck in. So it's going to be your longest bolts. You're going to use flat washer on the side that you pass the bolt through. And on the nut side, again, I don't have these tightened up all the way, just while I'm still kind of assembling everything and getting everything to line up. Just not tightening down everything all the way quite yet. Anyways, you'll use a flat washer on this side, a lock washer, and then a nut. And one thing to note, in the hardware that is included, there are 2 lock nuts or self-locking nuts with the hardware. Does not specify to use those yet, so just check which ones you grab out of the bag. And yeah, we'll keep rolling on. So I think we're getting down to the last of the brackets here. It's going to be this one here. This is the one for the driver's side. It's these kind of weird shaped smaller brackets. This one, again, they don't do the greatest job on the pictures. From here, it looks like it's actually going to be right next to this and flush with it. How this bracket is actually going to go on. It's going to sit on this one here on top of it, and you're going to use the longest bolt in the kit again with a washer on top, washer, lock washer, and a nut on the bottom. And then it's actually going to come right behind where your OEM bumper was mounted to, and you'll use, I believe it was the second longest bolt in the kit here. You'll use a washer on the back of it, feed the bolt in through the back, use a washer on the front, and then this is actually where it calls to use the lock washers. So that's the passenger side there. Over on the driver's side, you're gonna kind of feed this bracket in from behind, and then it's gonna sit right here. You'll drop that longer bolt in from the top, straight through there, and the other one's gonna go right through here. Bring that one in from the back, lock nut on the front. Something to mention real quick, previously I'd stated when putting on this bracket that mounts to the old OEM bumper mount, I had said to feed the bolt in through the back as so. Just going off of what Rough Country illustrates in the instructions here, looking at their picture, they actually fed the bolt from the front, as opposed to their illustration showing it being fed from behind the bracket. So I actually went ahead and swapped it to be in front of it instead of behind, like here. Obviously didn't switch this one yet. Just going off of their photo they have, I'm actually gonna run it this way. I'm not sure if there's gonna be any clearance issues having it the other way, but just thought I'd note that quick. And one more thing to note, my bumper is I went ahead and opted for the bumper with the winch mount. I did remove this parking sensor plug as well as this one. I just pushed them through with the end of my pliers here, end of my Leatherman, because if you have the winch mount, it actually has parking sensors for the front of it to relocate. So I did pop those out to put them in the winch tray here. So just thought I'd mention that as well. Hey guys, so now we have the front bumper somewhat on. There is a single top bolt, one on each side, that goes in first to sort of hold it. Everything's still pretty loose right now, just so I can get things lined up so it's not sitting level yet. I would definitely recommend having 1 or 2 extra sets of hands if you can for this, just because it's so difficult to kind of maneuver and everything like that. So yeah, this is as it's sitting for now. There's other steps to proceed if you did not opt for the winch. I did opt for the winch mount, so if you also have the winch, now is the time where you're going to be starting to get that put on. So either end of that winch tray will line up on these sides, and then have hardware that is included that passes through here. If you don't have the winch mount, this is when you would put on just the normal tow hook shackle mounts. So yeah, I'm gonna get rolling on the winch portion now. So we're pretty much on the home stretch here. Again, mine had the winch option, so instead of putting the normal shackle mounts in, this winch plate or winch mount goes in its place. Excuse me. Another thing to note, I guess the winch tray actually did come with parking sensor plugs, so I just popped them in on the bumper there. No need to remove and recycle them. I did reach out to Rough Country as I've been unboxing stuff. There's been quite a few chip stings, scratches that I found. Kind of just throughout different components of this kit, so we'll see if they respond or what they can do about anything. Another thing to note is even if you do have the winch option, I guess these do come with a license plate mount still. If you live in a state where front license plate is required. But yeah, this was pretty straightforward. I imagine the tow hooks would be as well. Right now I am working on the front skid plate, and right here is the bracket for it. It actually mounts where the automatic air dam was mounted. Another thing to note, most of the pieces of this kit, or all the ones I've checked so far, are marked with a P for passenger side or D for driver side, so makes things quite a bit easier in that sense. But yeah, this is how we're looking so far. Hey guys, so this is the bumper after 8 months. I've been pretty happy with it so far, and I think the install is something that most people can handle themselves in their garage with basic tools. I would say it is best to have a second set of hands if possible. Overall, I've been pretty happy with the bumper. One thing that did happen a month or two ago, I was driving down a gravel road and one of these shackles that go here on the front fell off. So since then I decided it was best to just leave them off of here. I did also add these lights from Rough Country. I've also been fairly happy with these, running them as my fog lights. I just bought some adapters off of Amazon so I could plug them into the factory harness. Sorry for all the bugs on the front. It's summer here, so bugs are out in full force on the highway and interstate. But yeah, overall I've been pretty happy with this front bumper. It's held up pretty well. It might be starting to show a little bit of rust there after only one winter, and you can see it a little more here, but honestly I think it's held up pretty good. Nothing's really shifted on me or anything. It's stayed pretty solid on there. Hasn't moved too much or caused me any issues. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it and would put on a future truck. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, just drop them down in the comments.